They got the advanced copies, huh?
The Adventure of Flag Wavers?
No, they were curious whether or not I felt it really, like they're curious about the political climate in the United States and the sort of lack of pluralism, the idea, because patriotism is associated with flag wavers, and because it is so owned, patriotism is sort of owned by the right. You know, the mantle of patriotism is sort of. They were curious to know whether or not I felt the need, you know, to say it. And the answer is yes. I felt the need. You know, you feel the need to point out that the reason, you know, you take the trouble to be critical is, you know, out of a sense of responsibility and patriotism, you know, like a love of one's country.
Ma, you think of yourself as a pop star?
No, I never really have too much, but I think the short answer is no. The short answer is no. But I'm immediately, what comes to mind is that after so many years of doing concerts and performing and of being in places that not everybody gets to go, that it'd be silly for me to not recognize that I have, you know, that I am, you know, to some degree, you know, I have certain privileges and I have a certain view because of the work that I do and what I've done. But I don't think of myself in those terms, and I've never been very comfortable sort of. I'm not much of a peacock, you know. I don't really sort of, you know, take very easily to it. I mean, I dress simply, and I don't think of myself as a pop star. Really, I think of myself as a songwriter.
でもステージに立つ人なら誰でも
I guess so, to a certain degree, just about anybody who does take the time and trouble to try to write music and perform for others is, you know, kind of driven by narcissistic urges, though. You never felt that within yourself, or felt that to be contradictory to, like, the rather sensitive internal sort of messages?
I don't think there's any conflict between those two ideas. I mean, I think that a certain amount of narcissism is sort of standard equipment. And it doesn't mean that the result of the self-examination is any, you know, less valid. I mean, I think that you have to have certain self-involvement to want to ask these questions and delve into them, and I think they're valid for others, you know, if they are. I mean, if people get something, other people see something in themselves in it, and a certain amount of ego is just, you know, just to get up in front of an audience and sing about these things is certainly, yeah, you know, you have to have a certain kind of confidence or belief that what you're talking about is important in some way. I don't know. It's kind of funny because when I'm writing, it's pretty hard for me to imagine when I'm not on stage. Because I have, like, there are years when I'm not performing. I can't remember how you do that. How you get up there and do that. For instance, just in the last month, I've been home for a month and I almost forgot. You know, if it weren't that we were just on tour a month ago, I really got my head completely out of the idea of performing. It's really kind of two different states of mind.
Is it becomes more difficult, you mean, to get up on stage and perform? Or
I just can't remember. No, it's not really, because it comes back, and because the situation is really very structured. You know, the structure of the show is really kind of set.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just hard to remember why you would want to do that when you're not doing it. It just seems odd. You know? I mean, it's really very different than writing.
Yeah, ある程度のナルシシズムっていうのは、suppose a lot of people will take the time and trouble to listen to your stuff because, you know, they believe in you, they believe in your integrity. Do you feel any pressure with that? With expectation?
Yeah, and I hope that people Actually, I hope that people will listen to it because it's compelling, and because when they hear it, they like it, it makes sense. I get the feeling that it's like that his ideas is that people will listen to it and think, I don't know about this, but we'll listen to it because some sort of integrity.
Maybe I didn't translate. I kind of felt the opposite. You seem to think that people sort of take for granted that whatever you say is the gospel and are accepting wholesale your ideas.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. See, I hope that's not the case, and I hope that, I guess I hope that, gee, see, I have mixed feelings about that because as an activist that has tried to get people interested in one thing and another, ecological issues, human rights issues, I don't want people to take my word for it that there's something, fishy about the way the government has, represented it, its programs in Nicaragua, for instance. I want them to, like if they listen to Lives in the Balance, I want them to say, hey, that's right. Come to think of it, that is right. Why are we on the side of these military dictatorships? If we believe in freedom, why don't we let them decide for themselves? And like that. So I want the songs to have an impact and connect with people. I don't want people to take my word for it because they imagine I have a lot of... I know that a certain amount of that is true. That because they have a connection with me, but the word integrity, I think, is maybe overstating it. I think they have a connection with me in the past, and we kind of grew up, maybe grew up listening to my songs. So that if I talk to them about something they may not know a little bit about, yeah, maybe they look into it because... But I hope that the songs, my desire, ideally, I would like the songs just to work, It's wrong with... I think that's sort of inherently wrong with political situation in my country, or maybe electoral politics in general, is that people elect somebody, that they imagine to have integrity, and they say, that's my man, and he's going to take care, he's going to look out for things for me. And they don't feel any responsibility to know what he's doing, to hold him responsible for what he says, or to know what it is he wants them to do, what that they want him to do. So it's not. So I really think things should be different, and I think that everybody should know a certain amount themselves. Yeah, you do have to, hire. You have to believe that someone can do a job, but you have to know what that job is. And that I don't really learn about human rights from rock songs. It's not as if I'm invented the subject. There's a real movement in the world to try to bring about fair treatment of individuals' human rights. Or there's a political movement in the United States to make government accountable to the people, and anybody can go look into that. So I recommend it to people. I don't want people just to sort of take my word for it and not look into it, because what's needed is for everybody to be involved.
It's kind of, I guess, they want to get to a certain point here, but they're going to ask it in a roundabout way. So, don't get confused. It's like, for example, Guns N' Roses caused quite a controversy with racist lyrics, an album jacket.
Very sexist album jacket. But I haven't heard about the racist lyrics. But
yeah,
okay,
so it was like something about, I have no need for faggots and niggers and stuff like that. Something really outlandish. And it caused a big controversy, but at the same time, they defend their own viewpoint by saying, no, we're just being honest, saying what we believe, and some people respect them for that. In your own case, I guess you're just being as honest as possible, or you think you're upholding any principles?
Oh yeah.
Like I said,
in my case, I am deeply offended by racism. I don't think there's any excuse. I think if there are lyrics like that in Guns N' Roses, I'm offended by that. And I would welcome the chance to tell any one of those guys that I'm offended by. I think that